Picture this. You've just finished a long, exhausting day at work. As you turn the key to your front door, a wave of dread washes over you. Behind that door lies chaos, dishes piled high in the sink, clothes scattered across furniture, dust collecting on every surface, and that mysterious odor you've been meaning to investigate for weeks. Sound familiar? What if I told you that millions of Japanese homes remain spotless year-round, not because their owners spend hours cleaning, but because they've mastered an ancient philosophy that makes maintaining a clean home almost effortless? A method so powerful, yet so simple that it transforms not just your living space, but your entire relationship with your possessions and your home. Today, I'm going to reveal this life-changing approach that has remained largely unknown outside of Japan until now. And the best part? You can implement it starting today, regardless of how messy your home currently is. Before we continue, if you enjoy practical life-changing techniques from different cultures, make sure to click that subscribe button. This is the best way for you to support our work. Thank you very much, and let's continue. The secret I'm about to share isn't just another cleaning hack or organizational system. It's a fundamentally different way of looking at your home that eliminates the very root causes of messiness and clutter. I discovered this approach during my 3-year stay in a traditional Japanese household, and it completely transformed how I maintain my own home. Let me take you back to my first week living with the Tanaka family in a modest 3-bedroom home in Kyoto. I was immediately struck by how immaculate their home was, not in a sterile, uninviting way, but in a manner that felt both pristine and deeply comforting. Even more surprising was that I never actually saw anyone cleaning for more than a few minutes at a time. When I asked Mrs. Tanaka about this seeming miracle, she smiled knowingly and introduced me to what she called Seiten no Chiya, the wisdom of arrangement. This philosophy, passed down through generations, combines elements of minimalism, mindfulness, and what the Japanese call the consciousness of space. At its core, this approach is built on 3 fundamental principles that work together to create a home that practically cleans itself. Let me break them down for you. The first principle is what the Japanese call a Chijikan Seiten, the 1-minute tidy. Instead of dedicating large blocks of time to cleaning, the Japanese approach focuses on numerous micro-cleaning moments throughout the day. These brief interventions prevent messes from accumulating in the first place. I watched in fascination as Mr. Tanaka arrived home from work. Before doing anything else, he spent exactly 58 seconds, yes, I timed it, putting away his belongings. His keys went into a small bamboo bowl by the door, his jacket on a designated hook, his shoes neatly aligned in the Genkan entryway, and any items from his pockets were either discarded or placed in their proper homes. This wasn't a special occasion. It was simply what he did every single time he entered the house. And he wasn't alone. Every family member practiced this ritual without fail. When I began implementing this habit myself, I was shocked by how it immediately eliminated the drought zones where clutter typically accumulated in my own home. Here's how you can apply this first principle today. Identify the 3 messiest areas in your home right now. These are likely your drop zones, places where you habitually leave items when you're too tired or distracted to put them away properly. For most people, these include entryways, kitchen counters, and bedroom chairs or floors. Now, commit to spending exactly 1 minute tidying each of these areas whenever you pass by them. Set a timer on your phone if needed. The time constraint is crucial. It prevents the task from feeling overwhelming while creating a sense of urgency that keeps you focused. The second principle is mono no aware, the pathos of things. This profound concept recognizes that all material objects have a temporary nature and occupy space in both your home and your mind. The Japanese approach teaches us to maintain a mindful relationship with our possessions by regularly asking a simple yet powerful question. Does this object still serve its purpose in my life? In the Tanaka household, I noticed something unusual. At the beginning of each season, the family would gather to perform a ritual they called kanchisai, the gratitude ceremony. They would carefully examine items that had fallen out of use, thank them for their service, and then either repurpose, donate, or discard them. This practice wasn't about ruthlessly throwing things away. Rather, it was about acknowledging that our needs change over time, and our possessions should reflect our current reality rather than our past or imagined future. This regular pruning prevents the slow accumulation of unused items that inevitably leads to clutter. To implement this second principle, start by selecting one category of items in your home, perhaps clothes, books, or kitchen tools. Take everything from this category and place it where you can see all items together. Pick up each object individually and ask yourself, does this still serve a purpose in my life? Does it bring me joy or utility? If the answer is no, thank the item for its service. This might feel strange at first, but it helps overcome the emotional attachment that often prevents us from letting go, and then set it aside to be donated or discarded. If the answer is yes, find a proper home for it based on frequency of use. Items used daily should be easily accessible, while seasonal or rarely used items can be stored away. The third principle, and perhaps the most transformative, is Yuhaka no Bai, the beauty of empty space. Western cultures often view empty space as something to be filled, leading us to continuously acquire more possessions. In contrast, the Japanese approach sees empty space as essential for both physical cleanliness and mental clarity. I'll never forget when Mrs. Tanaka helped me rearrange my bedroom in their home. After we finished, I felt something was missing and suggested adding a few more decorative items. She gently shook her head and explained, "The eye needs room to rest, just as the mind needs silence between thoughts." This concept revolutionized my understanding of home organization. By allowing for intentional empty spaces throughout your home, you not only create a more visually peaceful environment, but also make cleaning significantly easier. Fewer items mean fewer surfaces to dust, fewer objects to move when vacuuming, and fewer things to maintain. To apply this principle, challenge yourself to create at least one empty space in each room of your home. This could be a clear coffee table, an empty wall section, or a shelf with only a single, meaningful object. Notice how these empty spaces affect both the appearance of your home and your emotional response to it. Now, let me address a common misconception. This approach does not require you to live like a monk with bare rooms and minimal possessions. The Tanaka family home was warm and personalized, filled with items they truly valued. The difference was that each item had earned its place through conscious decision rather than passive accumulation. Let me share a personal story that illustrates the profound impact of these principles. During my second month with the Tanaka family, I caught a severe flu and was bedridden for nearly a week. Despite being the guest who usually helped with household chores, I was unable to contribute at all during this time. When I finally recovered and emerged from my room, I was astonished to find the house as immaculate as ever. No pile of dishes waiting to be washed, no accumulation of laundry, no dust gathering on surfaces. The family hadn't devoted any additional time to cleaning. They had simply continued their regular practice of micro-cleaning moments throughout the day. This experience revealed the true power of the Japanese approach. It creates a home that remains clean with minimal effort, even during challenging times. It's a system built on small, consistent actions rather than periodic deep cleans that require massive energy expenditures. But the benefits extend far beyond a tidy physical space. Studies have consistently shown that cluttered environments increase stress hormones, impair concentration, and even disrupt sleep patterns. By implementing these Japanese principles, you're not just creating a cleaner home, you're creating a sanctuary that supports your mental well-being. Let's talk about how to implement these principles in a home that's currently cluttered or messy. The Japanese concept of kaizen, continuous improvement through small steps, is particularly relevant here. Rather than attempting to transform your entire home at once, which can be overwhelming and unsustainable, focus on applying these principles to one area at a time. Start with your entryway, the threshold between the outside world and your home. In Japanese culture, this space holds special significance as it sets the tone for the entire house. Create a simple system for the items that typically enter your home, a designated place for shoes, a hook or bin for each family member's belongings, and a small receptacle for items like keys and mail. Once this area is functioning smoothly, which typically takes about 2 weeks of consistent practice, move on to your kitchen, then your bathroom, and so on. By gradually expanding these principles throughout your home, you'll build sustainable habits rather than implementing a system that collapses under its own complexity. Now, let me address some potential challenges you might face. If you live with family members or roommates who don't share your enthusiasm for this approach, start by implementing it in your personal spaces. As others witness the transformation in those areas, and more importantly, notice how much more peaceful you seem in your organized environment, they'll likely become curious about your methods. The Japanese have a saying, "Example is not the main thing in influencing others, it is the only thing." Rather than lecturing your housemates about cleanliness, simply embody these principles and allow their benefits to speak for themselves. Another common obstacle is the emotional attachment we develop to possessions. The Japanese principle of monnai, a sense of regret over waste, can help here. By finding new homes for items that no longer serve you through donation or gifting, you honor their continued usefulness rather than relegating them to forgotten storage. For parents concerned about implementing these principles with children, Japanese families offer a valuable model. Children as young as 3 are given age-appropriate responsibilities for maintaining their own spaces, teaching them that care of physical environment is a fundamental life skill rather than a burdensome chore. I witnessed this firsthand with the Tanaka's 6-year-old daughter, Yuki. Each evening before dinner, she would participate in what the family called okatazup time, tidy up time, returning her toys to their proper places with a sense of pride rather than reluctance. This was achieved not through strict enforcement, but by making the organization process itself engaging and by clearly demonstrating the connection between an ordered space and the ability to fully enjoy one's possessions. Let's dive deeper into the practical application of these principles with what I call the 5-5-5 method, a simple framework inspired by my time with the Tanaka family. Each day, commit to 5 one-minute tidying sessions, 5 items evaluated for continued purpose in your life, 5 minutes of mindful appreciation of the spaces you've created. This method requires just 15 minutes of your day, but when practiced consistently, creates a home that essentially maintains itself. The key is consistency. These small actions, performed daily, prevent the accumulation of disorder that necessitates major cleaning sessions. Now, let me reveal one of the most powerful techniques I learned from Mrs. Tanaka, what she called sakioki, or putting things in their future place. When considering where to store an item, most of us think about where it makes sense to keep it. The Japanese approach suggests instead thinking about where you'll need the item next. For example, rather than storing all cleaning supplies together in a distant closet, keep specific products in rooms where they'll be used. Place a small container of bathroom cleaning wipes under the sink rather than making a trip to the cleaning closet each time. This subtle shift in thinking removes friction from the cleaning process, making it far more likely that you'll address messes immediately rather than postponing them. Another transformative concept is tokamiko, the spark of joy, made famous by Marie Kondo but practiced in Japanese households for generations before her method gained international attention. This principle encourages you to surround yourself only with items that evoke positive emotions, creating a home environment that energizes rather than depletes you. During my stay with the Tanaka family, I noticed that every object in their home seemed intentionally chosen rather than passively accumulated. When I commented on a particularly beautiful ceramic tea set, Mrs. Tanaka explained that they had donated their previous set, which was perfectly functional but didn't bring them joy, to make room for this one that they truly treasured. This selective approach to possessions doesn't mean constantly buying new things. On the contrary, it often results in owning fewer items, but of higher quality or personal significance. The Japanese concept of tainai, thoughtful care, extends the life of possessions through proper maintenance and appreciation, reducing the need for frequent replacements. I'm often asked about technology's role in this philosophy. The Tanaka family embraced modern conveniences, but maintained mindful boundaries around them. Digital devices had designated homes and weren't allowed to migrate throughout the house, creating electronic clutter. Cables were neatly managed, and screens were kept out of relaxation spaces like bedrooms to maintain those areas as true sanctuaries. This brings us to another vital aspect of the Japanese approach, the creation of clearly defined zones within your home. Each area should have a primary purpose, with items related to that purpose kept within that zone. This mental mapping significantly reduces the tendency for objects to drift throughout your living space. In the Tanaka home, I observed distinct areas for food preparation, dining, relaxation, creative pursuits, and rest. While these zones weren't physically separated by walls, their boundaries were clear through thoughtful furniture arrangement and consistent usage patterns. This zoning naturally prevented the spread of mess. Cooking implements didn't migrate to the relaxation area because there was no conceptual connection between those spaces. To implement this in your own home, start by identifying the primary activities that occur in each area. Then ensure that only items related to those activities are stored there. Your bedside table, for instance, should contain only items related to your evening and morning routines, not work documents, craft supplies, or kitchen gadgets that have somehow wandered there. The Japanese cleaning philosophy also encompasses a mindful approach to maintenance schedules. Rather than responding to visible dirt or disorder, traditional Japanese households follow preventative cleaning rhythms that address spaces before they show signs of neglect. This proactive approach was evident in the Tanaka's weekly osoji, deep cleaning session. Unlike the frantic, exhausting cleaning marathons many of us endure, their osoji lasted exactly 24 minutes. They used a traditional incense timer that burned for this duration and focused on different areas of the home on a rotating schedule. By cleaning spaces before they appeared dirty, they never faced the demoralizing task of tackling severely neglected areas. You can adopt this practice by creating a simple rotating schedule for deeper cleaning tasks. The key is brevity and consistency. A 20-minute session once a week for each major area of your home will prevent the need for occasional massive cleaning efforts. Let's also discuss the Japanese approach to surfaces, which differs significantly from Western habits. In many Japanese homes, horizontal surfaces remain largely clear, with walls utilized more efficiently for storage through minimalist shelving. This practice dramatically reduces dust accumulation and makes regular cleaning infinitely easier. The Tanaka family's living room featured a low table that remained empty when not in use for dining or specific activities. Decorative items were displayed in a recessed alcove called a tokonoma, allowing most surfaces to remain clear. This intentional emptiness created a sense of spaciousness even in their modestly sized home. To apply this principle, challenge yourself to clear one horizontal surface in your home completely. Experience how much easier it is to clean and maintain, as well as the visual restfulness it provides. Gradually extend this practice to other surfaces, finding alternative storage solutions for items that typically accumulate there. Now, let me address a question I frequently receive. Doesn't his approach require constant vigilance? That sounds exhausting. The beauty of the Japanese method is that it actually requires less mental energy than our typical Western approach to home maintenance. By creating simple systems and consistent habits, you eliminate the need for constant decision-making about when to clean or where to put things. Each item has a designated home. Each day includes brief maintenance moments, and the entire system functions with minimal conscious effort once established. This reminds me of a profound moment I experienced while helping Mrs. Tanaka prepare dinner one evening. I watched in admiration as she cleaned continuously while cooking, wiping surfaces, and washing utensils immediately after use. When I commented on her diligence, she seemed puzzled by my observation. "This isn't cleaning," she explained. "It's simply using the kitchen." This fundamental shift in perspective, viewing maintenance as an integrated part of use rather than a separate, unpleasant task, lies at the heart of the Japanese approach to home care. To foster this mindset shift, try incorporating the concept of terazumi, completion, into your daily activities. This principle suggests that an activity isn't complete until everything has been returned to its proper state. A meal isn't finished when you've eaten the last bite, but when the kitchen has been restored to order. A bath isn't over when you step out of the tub, but when the bathroom has been left ready for its next use. By expanding your definition of activities to include their full cycle, you eliminate the artificial separation between living in your space and maintaining it. This integration naturally creates a home that never requires dedicated cleaning days because it never reaches a state of significant disorder. Another practical technique from Japanese households is what I call the descending order principle. This approach suggests organizing items within categories by size, with the largest items at the back or bottom and smallest at the front or top. This creates natural visibility and prevents the common problem of smaller items becoming lost or forgotten behind larger ones. In the Tanaka's kitchen, plates were stacked with the largest at the bottom and smallest at the top, creating a naturally stable arrangement that also made each plate immediately visible and accessible. Their pantry followed the same principle, with larger containers at the back of shelves and smaller ones in front, ensuring nothing was overlooked or forgotten. To implement this in your own home, select one storage area, perhaps a kitchen cabinet or bookshelf, and reorganize it according to this principle. Notice how this simple arrangement reduces the frustration of searching for items and eliminates the tendency to purchase duplicates of things you already own but can't locate. The Japanese approach also offers a solution to one of the most persistent challenges in home maintenance: paper clutter. In the Tanaka household, incoming paper was immediately processed according to the Ichiji principle, one-time handling. Mail was opened upon arrival, with actionable items placed in a small designated box, reference materials filed immediately, and everything else recycled without delay. This prevented the accumulation of paper piles that plagued many Western homes and eliminated the mental burden of knowing that somewhere in those piles lurk important documents requiring attention. By processing paper immediately and maintaining a minimal, efficient filing system, you create both physical order and mental clarity. Now, let's address seasonal transitions, which often create chaos in otherwise organized homes. The Japanese concept of hashirizum, first beginnings, views seasonal changes as opportunities for renewal rather than challenges to be managed. In the Tanaka home, seasonal transitions were marked by specific rituals that prevented disorder. At the beginning of each season, they would perform koromogi, the changing of clothes, removing out-of-season items from their closets and bringing in appropriate ones from storage. This was done as a family activity with a sense of ceremony, including cleaning and properly storing items rather than hastily stuffing them into bins or bags. By treating these transitions as significant events worthy of attention rather than inconvenient chores to be rushed through, they prevented the half-completed seasonal rotations that leave many homes in a state of perpetual transition, with winter coats still hanging in summer and holiday decorations lingering well into spring. To apply this in your own home, schedule specific days for seasonal transitions. Create proper storage solutions for out-of-season items, and treat the process as a meaningful transition rather than a burdensome task. This mindful approach prevents the accumulation of transitional clutter and helps maintain the rhythm of your home throughout the year. Let me share another personal story that illustrates the profound impact of these principles. About 6 months after returning from Japan, I experienced a particularly hectic period at work, with 60-hour weeks and high stress levels. In the past, my home would have rapidly deteriorated under such circumstances, creating a chaotic environment that further increased my stress. Instead, the habits I had developed through the Japanese approach maintained my home in a state of order with minimal effort. The brief cleaning moments integrated throughout my day required almost no additional energy or decision-making, yet they prevented the accumulation of disorder that would have demanded a major time investment to resolve. This experience revealed another dimension of the Japanese approach. It's not just about creating a clean home, but about creating a resilient system that maintains itself even during challenging periods of your life. It's about establishing a foundation of order that supports you rather than demanding from you. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, let's discuss what I believe is the most profound aspect of the Japanese approach to home maintenance: its connection to the concept of ikigai, a reason for being. In Japanese culture, creating and maintaining a harmonious living environment isn't seen as separate from one's purpose or meaning. It's an integral expression of respect for oneself and others. The Tanaka family didn't maintain their home out of obligation or fear of judgment, but as a natural extension of their values and identity. Their home was a physical manifestation of their inner state, and the act of caring for it was viewed as caring for themselves and each other. This perspective transforms what might otherwise be seen as mundane chores into meaningful rituals that connect us to our environment, our values, and the people with whom we share our spaces. It elevates the act of home maintenance from a burdensome necessity to a form of self-care and even spiritual practice. To cultivate this mindset, try approaching one cleaning task that you typically find unpleasant with full presence and attention. Whether washing dishes or folding laundry, engage all your senses in the experience. Feel the temperature of the water. Notice the scent of the soap. Observe the transformation from disorder to order. This mindful engagement often reveals unexpected satisfaction in tasks we habitually rush through or avoid. Before we conclude, let me address one final question. Is this approach really sustainable in our busy modern lives? My answer, based both on my experience with the Tanaka family and my continued practice of these principles in my own life, is an emphatic yes. In fact, I would argue that it's our conventional Western approach to home maintenance that's truly unsustainable, requiring large blocks of time that we rarely have and creating a perpetual sense of falling behind. The Japanese approach, with its focus on small, consistent actions integrated into daily life, actually requires less time overall while producing superior results. By preventing the accumulation of disorder, you eliminate the need for marathon cleaning sessions. By maintaining mindful awareness of your possessions, you reduce the mental and physical burden of managing excess stuff. Let me offer a simple starting point for your journey toward an effortlessly clean home. Tonight, before you go to bed, spend exactly 3 minutes returning items to their proper places. Tomorrow morning, spend 2 minutes clearing one small surface completely. These 5 minutes will set in motion a transformation that, when practiced consistently, will fundamentally change your relationship with your home. Remember that the goal isn't perfection but harmony, a living space that supports rather than depletes you, that remains orderly without demanding excessive energy or attention. This is the true wisdom of the Japanese approach to home maintenance, not creating a showpiece, but cultivating a sanctuary. As you implement these principles, you'll likely notice benefits extending beyond the physical state of your home. Many of my students report improved sleep, reduced anxiety, and greater focus after adopting this approach. These outcomes align with research suggesting that our physical environments significantly impact our mental and emotional well-being. The ancient Japanese wisdom of Seiten no Chiya offers not just a cleaner home, but a more peaceful mind and a more intentional life. By transforming your relationship with your possessions and your space, you create ripple effects that touch every aspect of your daily experience. I invite you to begin this journey today with the simple practices we discussed. Start with small, consistent actions rather than ambitious overhauls. Focus on creating sustainable habits rather than achieving immediate transformation. Trust in the cumulative power of mindful attention to your living space. The path to an effortlessly clean home isn't found in new cleaning products or organizational gadgets. It's found in these time-tested principles that align our actions with our deeper values. By embracing this approach, you honor not just your home, but yourself and those with whom you share your space. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the Japanese secret to an effortlessly clean home. I'd love to hear about your experiences as you implement these principles. Share your journey in the comments below, and remember to subscribe for more insights into transformative practices from cultures around the world. Until next time, Siri Seaton Saizo. Organize, arrange, and shine.